Hello, dear students. I am Samir Velankar. I welcome all of you to this another video of binary search tree. In this video, we will be learning how to count number of non-leaf nodes in a binary tree. In the previous video, in detail, we saw how to count number of leaf nodes using recursive function. Let's see how to count number of non-leaf nodes. Now, number of non-leaf nodes will be found by using a recursive function which has been given here at the bottom. Now, before I actually explain the recursive function operation, I would like to tell how did I arrive at this solution or what came to my mind so that I wrote this if statement and return statement and various operations in this recursive function. Now, the fact is, you can think recursively while writing this function as follows. If suppose you are given some binary tree, let's say the binary tree is something like this, and the null pointers wherever applicable, left of 20 is null, and both pointers of 5 are null, and root points on the top. Now, suppose you are asked how many non-leaf nodes are there in this tree. Then you see that 10 is non-leaf because it has both children. You know non-leaf node is the node which has at least one child, either left or right or both. So 10 is non-leaf and 20 is also non-leaf. But 30 and 5 are leaf nodes. So your answer should be 2, isn't it? There are 2 non-leaf nodes. No, but not that way. You should think recursively. Although 2 is the number of non-leaf nodes, your answer is correct. 10 is non-leaf and 20 is non-leaf. But how do you define this recursively? Now what you do is, you say if there is a pointer P pointing to some node, any node, and you are asked from that node onwards, count number of non-leaf nodes. Wherever P is pointing, from that node you count number of non-leaf nodes. So the first thing is, you will ask that is P equal to null? If P is null, then P is not pointing to a valid node, so forget it. We will not continue our process, we'll stop the process, isn't it? Or if wherever P is pointing, that node is a leaf node. Listen, we are counting number of non-leaf nodes. But we will ask, is P invalid? Is P null? Is it not pointing anywhere? Then we will stop. Or if left, P arrow left is null, and P arrow right is also null. Now, if is true, that means if P is null, P is not pointing anywhere. It's not pointing to a node itself. Or if both pointers left and right are null, then what do you know if both pointers left and right are null? You know that the node which we are talking about is a leaf node. Then we will simply return 0. We are not interested in that node because either the node is not valid or the node is leaf. And listen, we are counting number of non-leaf nodes. Then we are not interested and we would say return 0. So check this count non-leaf. First we check the base case. Base case is, are we talking about an invalid node? Is P null? Then forget it, return 0. Or are we talking about a leaf node? Are we at such a node where left is null and P arrow right both are null? Then also return 0. So we are not interested in invalid nodes and we are not interested in leaf nodes. But what if this if is totally false? Then the next line will run, isn't it? Which says return 1 plus count non-leaf plus count non-leaf. So what does this mean? Let's see. What does this line return 1 plus count non-leaf means? This is very interesting. And you see how easy it is to build recursive functions. After this explanation, I bet that you will know how to write recursive functions within seconds, or rather understand it so easily. Let's see that we are given some binary tree like this. These are the values stored, and you still know that number of non-leaf nodes in this binary tree are 2, because 10 and 5 are non-leaf nodes. So suppose P is pointing to 10, and you are asked, count how many non-leaf nodes are from P onwards till the end of the tree, till the bottom of the tree. Then you will say that if P is not a leaf, check my words, if P is not a leaf, then definitely P is non-leaf. Then you will say, I will count 1 because I have encountered a non-leaf, and I will add. I will add 1 to what exactly? I will ask how many non-leaf nodes are there in the left branch. You watch this. Left branch of P. So for that, I will call the count non-leaf recursively. I am writing in short, count NL, CNL, P arrow left. So this function is appointed for doing the work of counting number of non-leaves in the left branch of 10, plus add it to how many non-leaf nodes, C and L, count non-leaf on the right. So this recursive call, count non-leaf PRO right, is going to take the recursive call for 20, and it is going to count how many non-leaf nodes are there in the right branch, and count non-leaf PRO left is going to count how many non-leaf nodes are there in the left branch, and both these counts will be added, obviously. So what we will get is count non-leaf towards the left branch is going to be 1, because there is one non-leaf. So we already have 1 plus, and this count non-leaf has returned 1 plus, and number of non-leaves on the right side over here of 10 are 0, and we get the answer as 2, and genuinely this tree has 2 non-leaves. Okay, I think I have explained how this count non-leaf recursive function came to my mind. Now let's run this very quickly on a very small tree like this. Suppose I have some values like this. Let's say these are the values, and root points at 10. So what would you do? You will start count non-leaf for 10 for the root node, isn't it so? Count non-leaf is called for the root node, so P will point at 10. So P points at 10. And what's the first question you ask after entering count non-leaf? Come on, you ask, is that P first of all valid or is it null? If it is null, forget it. Then P is not pointing to a valid node. Or is the node which we are talking about having both left and right pointers null? Well, by the way, 10 is such a node for which all these conditions are false, you know. The entire if is false. So the function won't return 0, but the next line is going to run. I hope you got it. I hope you got it. So the next line running is nothing but 1 plus. Now, why 1 plus? Because we know that the node at which we are is a non-leaf node, isn't it? Definitely 10 is a non-leaf node. So we have put 1 plus, and then we call count non-leaf recursively. You watch the call. Count non-leaf recursively for P arrow left. That means count non-leaf is called recursively for 5, because 10's left is 5, plus add it with count non-leaf recursively for 20, because right child of this 10 is 20. But you all know that count non-leaf 5 will run first. There are two recursive calls, but the first recursive call will be done. So what happens when count non-leaf 5 runs? We have got a pointer P at 5. See this? P, the pointer P is at 5. And this fresh function when count leaf for 5 starts, we'll first ask this condition. Now notice this condition is false for 5. Because P is valid, P equal to null is false, P is very well pointing to 5, and left and right are not null. In fact, left is not null, although right is null for 5. So this condition is also false. So the return statement will run counting 1 again. I hope you got this. What is count non-leaf saying? I am a non-leaf, so I will count 1, and then I will inquire how many non-leaves are on my left and how many non-leaves are on my right. So count non-leaf is going to appoint count non-leaf again for left child. Now you observe left child of 5 is 2, and right child, observe, for phi is null. So simple, isn't it? So simple. So the tree now, the recursive tree will now appoint count non-leaf 2 now. Count non-leaf 2 runs. So basically P is at 2. Fresh function starts. When this fresh function starts, interesting, isn't it? When count non-leaf 2 starts, where P is at 2, you observe that this condition, P arrow left, is null and P arrow right is null. Then the node which we are talking about is a leaf. And remember, we are counting non-leaf. So we are not interested to go further at all. And we will, by the way, count non-leaf 2, here I am striking out. Count non-leaf 2 has returned 0. 0 back at the call. This person, count non-leaf 2 is 0. So what do you know is that the left branch of phi, we were talking about left branch of phi is having 0 non-leaves, isn't it? Left branch of phi. We are in count non-leaf function, count non-leaf phi function again. We are back to that function and we know that left child of phi is not having any non-leaves. Time to call the other recursive function. Observe, I am underlining it. Count non-leaf null. If count non-leaf null runs, then P is null, parameter P is null, and as P is null, check the first condition in the if. We return 0, we are not interested. So count non-leaf null is also returning 0. So what you observe is phi is such a node whose left branch is having 0 non-leaves and right branch is also having 0 non-leaves. So count non-leaf phi now ends returning 1 plus 0 and it returns that answer back at the call here. This is 1, isn't it? What is 1 is count non-leaf phi is 1, which means count non-leaf 10, this function, now knows that towards my right, count non-leaf 10 knows towards my right there is only one non-leaf. I hope you are understanding. And now count leaf non-leaf 20 runs. So what will happen when count non-leaf 20 runs? P is at 20. And observe, as soon as this function starts, count non-leaf with P at 20, we will notice that this condition is again true for 20. It is a leaf. 20 is a leaf. So we are not interested. We will return 0 straight away, isn't it? We'll return 0. And if the count non-leaf 20 returns 0, it returns 0 at the call here. And now count leaf 10, the function at which we are back at count leaf 10, non-leaf 10 will return 1 plus 1 plus 0. So our main function, this count leaf 10 will return 2. Isn't it so? I hope you are understanding. So let's try, before we end the discussion, let's try what happens if you call this count non-leaf on such a 40, such a tree. How is this going to run? Showing it the operation like this, count non-leaf called for 10. And if we will first inquire in count leaf 10, non-leaf 10, are we talking about a valid node? Yes, because P is at 10. And is it a leaf? Now 10 is valid and 10 is not a leaf. So this statement return 1 plus will execute. So what's happening is count non-leaf says I am a non-leaf. 10 says I am a non-leaf. So I will add 1 and I will call count non-leaf for my left subtree. Left subtree is 20. And I will call count non-leaf for the right subtree. Right subtree is 30. So if you execute count non-leaf for 20, as soon as this count non-leaf 20 starts, it's going to return 0. Are you understanding? It's going to return 0 because it's a leaf. It's a leaf. And in very early in the function, we have checked if we are at a leaf node, then return 0. So this count non-leaf 20 ends, this 20 ends, correct? Returning 0 at the call. Now the turn of the count non-leaf 30. If count non-leaf 30 starts, it will first ask, is it valid node? Yes, it is valid node because 30 is stored in that node. Or is it a leaf node? It is not a leaf node either. You can see that 30 has got the right child. So 30 will say, I am non-leaf. So I will count 1. And I will call count non-leaf for my right subtree. Right subtree is 30. And I will call count non-leaf for my left subtree. and I will inquire how many non-leaf nodes are towards my left. But you observe left of 30 is null, isn't it? Check the diagram, left of 30 is null. And I will add how many count non-leaves, how many non-leaves are towards my right, and right child is 40. So what is count non-leaf null going to do? It's going to return 0. Check the function. And what is count non-leaf 40 going to do? Notice when count non-leaf 40 runs, it's a leaf, so it's going to return 0. Then count non-leaf 30 function, this function will return 1 plus 0 plus 0. So it will return 1 back at the call. See, 30 now knows that towards its left and right, there are no non-leaves. In fact, 30 itself is a non-leaf. So now the function count non-leaf 10 returns 1 plus 0 plus 1. So the function count non-leaf 10 returns 2. And genuinely there are 2 non-leaves in this tree. As a teacher, I always find recursive functions very challenging to explain to my students. And I make my sincere efforts to explain the recursive functions, especially in the case of binary trees. So in this video, I told you what was the idea that struck my mind before I wrote this function, isn't it? And then I explained the operations of that functions. I hope you have understood it very well. Thank you very much.